Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast episode. I am joined by Matt Hennessy. How are you today, Matt? You okay?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, how are you?
Good. Yes, I'm good, thank you. For those listening that don't know who you are, give us a little, a brief bio about who you are and what you do.
So I'm a singer-songwriter technically from Portsmouth, but also based in Brighton at the moment. So I do a lot of stuff on the south coast at the moment. I used to play for a band called Not So Clever. They're still going. I do a lot of session work as well on guitar, bass. And yeah, I've just recently, end of last year, I started doing my own stuff, and it's just been really fun building up a bit of a fan base and just seeing where it goes.
Sick. So you're very busy by the sounds of it. Always on
Yeah.
it. Yeah, nice. And sounds like you love it as well, right?
Yeah, honestly, it's so much fun. I I
Nice.
I think my favorite thing about it is just getting to meet people, whether that's in the industry or just meeting fans.
Yeah.
It's it's really rewarding getting to know people who are like affected in some way by what I'm doing or just involved. And like it's just really interesting, really rewarding and great to do.
Nice. And so where are you at the minute in terms of your artist career? You say you're doing your own stuff. Are you out gigging? Are you mainly sitting and working on promo? Are you doing a bit of everything or?
Well, it's kind of got to a point where it's a little bit quieter for us at the moment. So
Mhm.
the band and I, we supported. This year's been really good for us so far. We supported Tom A. Smith in February.
Nice.
He's lovely, honestly, so much fun to work with. Tom A. Smith and Girl Band, they were on a joint tour.
Oh,
At the
sweet. Yeah.
Joiners in Southampton, and then they were great to work with as well, Girl Band. And yeah, then we've supported Crystal Tides, Cassia, and Honeybuzz, um,
Nice.
all kind of between Brighton, Southampton, and Portsmouth. And yeah, we're just hoping to do a little bit more this way, but also branch out a little bit, maybe Bristol, bit of London. And like we
Nice.
had we've had some experience in London with like the usual promoters and stuff, but it's not the ones we worked with just weren't very easy, and it was a whole thing. Lost a bit of money going up there. So yeah, I've been learning a lot along the way, and I think it's just kind of trial and error and seeing how we can go forward, minimize that risk of losing money, or if we do lose money, whether we know what we're going into and whether we're happy to put money down on something like that. There's a lot of factors, but it's really good. It's really good fun learning as I go, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one thing I always say is all of this is trial and error for sure. And we've just
Yeah,
got to
totally.
keep trying, and it's so hard sometimes when those errors are happening to go, oh god, like I'm failing, but they're really good things because it's how we learn, and I think
Yeah,
you're doing something really good there by just keep putting yourself out there, trying what you can. You say you've had these issues with like promoters in London, but now you're like, well, I'm not going to
yeah,
work with them again and I'm going to look elsewhere. So it's all a learning curve. we're
but
all we're all sat here learning,
yeah,
myself included. I've been doing this for over 10 years now, and I'm learning every day. It's so fast paced and things change all the time.
yeah.
So
It's like
uh,
the industry's evolving as well, so it's like things will just change.
absolutely. Anyway, I believe you have some questions prepped
Yeah,
for
yeah. I
me.
got quite a few written down. So
Nice.
I think I wanted to talk about like marketing and stuff, especially on TikTok, because like I said that gigs wise, it's gone a bit quiet. We got a little one in Brighton, um, because we've been kind of just so we got a new drummer. We got a new drummer in the band, so we're like getting well, he's up to speed already, but kind of um, just like coming back into the swing of things a little bit. Other than that, we haven't really got anything booked. We're in talks to get stuff booked, but we've been working on some new material. I'm putting some demos together, and as I want to work out like how best to promote it on TikTok. Because if you'd
Mm.
asked me probably 2 3 months back, I would have said I want like an EP out by the end of the year. But I've spoken to a few people and had a good think about it, and it's way too early for an EP. Because I've got three singles out and like they're great, but like the last couple have kind of gone. I know it's not all about streaming, but like the streams aren't very high, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult getting hype built up about it. Um, so I'm kind of I'm wondering what your thoughts are on marketing, because if I were to basically use these demos, for example, that I'm putting together and start dropping bits of them on TikTok and see which ones get the most kind of attention and then go from there with releases. So like start releasing the ones that are in demand. Um, Basically, yeah, just with marketing on TikTok, how would you recommend that I push? Oh, hello. Got thumbs up. How would you recommend that I push these songs in that sense, you know?
Yeah, if I were you, if I was in your position right now and I was sat on a few demos, I would agreed be on TikTok. There's no set kind of way on how to push them. Just be authentic, be yourself. You can be honest and say, I've got these demos and I don't know what to do with them, and I'm just throwing them out there to see who likes them, see if I should release them.
Yeah.
On top of that, if you haven't got anything set up yet, like a mailing list or a broadcast channel, these things are so important to
I've
bring
got a
people
broadcast
in.
channel.
Fantastic.
That's been really fun.
Fantastic. Yeah, broadcast channels are a lot of fun, and they're going.
My guitarist is just he's been posting so much funny stuff on it. I love
Well,
it.
they go. I think they're going to take over mailing lists. I really do. They're a lot more interactive.
Yeah.
They're a lot more instant, and that's what we like nowadays. I really think they're going to take over. It's why I go on about it a lot.
Broadcast channels, yeah.
TikTok are actually releasing something. I got invited to be on someone's. It's called like a bulletin board. They've called it, which is basically a broadcast channel. I think they've done what Instagram have done, and they're not rolling it out to everyone yet because it was like.
Yeah.
I think it was Sam Ryder, because I follow him, and his came up saying you can join. I was like, a bulletin board? What is this? And I went through, and yeah, so TikTok are doing it now as well. So that's going to be even easier to start converting people over on there as well, which is fantastic. What I would do is say on those posts, when you're saying, I've got these demos, I don't know what to do with them, you can also say, if you like them, join my broadcast channel and I'll send you the whole demo, or I'll send you all 3 demos that I've got. Because one thing people love, one thing people love more than anything is free stuff. Because, and sometimes it's very easy to sit and feel like you're giving too much away for free. Because you're going, either I need to make money from this, or I want to get streams, or whatever the goal is. It can feel like it takes away from that. But what happens is people are very receptive to you giving all the time. It's why I go on about so much, like give as much as you can, because eventually you'll be giving so much, people will go, God, if I'm getting this for free, what's happening if I'm like buying a CD or anything like that? Or how much more value must there be behind anything else? So all of a sudden you're going from, okay, I'm giving out everything for free, to people going, I'm really respecting what he's doing. I'm getting more invested, because you've probably seen some videos where I talk about it. I do talk about this a lot because I firmly believe in this. If you are constantly putting things out there, asking things of people, saying, can you stream this? Can you let me know what's going on? Even if it was can I send my demo so you can tell me? You're asking all the time. And straight away, when you're looking at TikTok and you're looking at marketing in general, right? I've spoke about top, middle, and bottom funnel. For those of you that don't know, top is basically where you bring people in. The middle is where you start nurturing people and bring them down. And the bottom is your goal. That's like the real simplified version of it. So TikTok's your top. The last thing you want to do when you're bringing people in is straight away asking them about something, which is why I don't agree with things like your pre-save campaigns being on there and anything that you're kind of asking someone of. If you're asking something of someone, you should have given them about 5 or 6 things at least before you make that ask. There's an interesting book by a marketer that I read, and he has this phrase called jab, 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 right hook. And what that is give, ask. So you're making sure that you're putting yourself out there as someone that cares, because for someone to get invested in you, you have to be invested in them too. It's like any kind of relationship, friendship, anything you've got. Any kind of fandom is a 2-way streak. It's not just you going, you have to like what I'm doing, or you must like what I'm doing. So you're going to buy gig tickets, you're going to buy merch, you're going to stream my songs. It's, I'm going to give you this stuff. I'm going to let you into my world. I'm going to show you behind the scenes stuff. And it's great if you've already got your guitarist in the broadcast channel, like sharing funny stuff and getting people laughing.
His art, well, as much as it is Matt Hennessy,
Hmm.
It's also, I like to make it about the band. And like, I mean, you
Amazing.
discovered me through TikTok, right? You found me
For
on
sure.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Um, and then just by chance, I was seeing the Mercians a few days later. But um, the you might have seen the stuff that I posted about Jack, my guitarist, doing like the funny dances on stage, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's his thing. Like, is the band. I want them to be as front as much up front as I am, and I think
Amazing.
it's the people, the fan base we got so far. A lot of them are seeing it that way, and I really
Good.
like that. It's like
And you know what? You
Jack is
will.
an individual. Lauren and Matt are individual as well. Matt's also my drummer. There's another Matt, but
Nice.
um,
Makes it complicated. Honestly, that is such a good thing you're doing. And I think you're doing more good with that than you even realize. I imagine you've done it because
I'm
you're
not.
like, this is quite a laugh. But all of a sudden, you've got a group of people, no matter how big or small, that are like, I'm part of this. I'm part of this
Yeah,
group. I'm part of this circle. You know, there might be a few in jokes in there where they see your guitarist play and they know he's going to do a silly dance at a
it's
certain point in the
always
song.
always my first single, "Dumb Luck." Whenever we play that
Yeah.
live, you'll always do that dance.
Yeah, and you'll have people coming to those shows expecting that. And
Yeah,
that's what makes it good because it's like an in joke. So if you, let's say you're playing at a festival, all of a
mm,
sudden, if you're playing there and you got a few of your fans there and they know that's coming, they're going to feel part of like the
yeah,
elite. Do you know what I mean? They're like, oh yeah, he does that all the time. We know that. And he's really funny. All
yeah,
of these other people in this room are seeing them for the first time. And they don't know that about him, but we know. And you
yeah.
know, it's almost like they want to feel connected, like they're your friends. And it's such a
Well,
nice,
like, to be
positive
honest,
thing
they
to
are
have.
like, especially
Exactly.
a lot of the people we like what is it? A lot of the people who've come to some of our first shows and are still coming along later. Like a lot of the time before or after the show, I'll be like chatting to them for ages, and we'll get a drink or something. They're like, I like to have that kind of thing. It is, they are friends as much as they are fans. Like,
Amazing.
that's
And people will notice that as well, by the way, man. Like, it's very obvious if you're trying to give something to someone because in your head you're going, I'm going to take something from you. Even if that's nice, and I'm going to get you to stream my music or I'm going to get you to buy
yeah,
some merch or whatever it is. It's plainly written on your face when you're doing that. When you're in a position like you are and you're doing it genuinely because it's fun
yeah.
and
I
you
just like
enjoy it
meeting
and
people.
you yeah exactly and people will resonate and see that for sure. And so what you're actually doing there, and it may not feel like it, is marketing. And this is where I like to talk about it to take that pressure off, because sometimes marketing can just be fun. It can just be chatting to people, making connections with people. It's not always making the perfect scripted like TikTok and making sure your titles at the top, your captions at the bottom, and all of that stuff. It's about genuine
Yeah,
human connection. And I think it's where a lot of people can get lost with this, because you're looking at stream numbers and you're looking at all of that. And I promise you, those things will come if you maintain what you're doing right now, because we can get so focused on like those short-term wins, and if we're seeing those streams go up, it's great, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing that happens, but there is way more value in what you're doing, because at some point you will keep going and you'll keep doing it and it will click, and all of a sudden these people will go, I want to go and listen to Matt like all the time, because not only is his music great, he's just such a lovely guy, and we know all of his band and they're such lovely people. And then that's how you start getting to the point where you're turning up to your own gigs and people are waiting outside the door just to come and meet you, because they're like, he's just sound. It's not, a lot of the time it's not because they're like, oh my god, there's this amazing musician and wow, they're amazing and they write amazing songs. Sometimes it's just, what a decent human being. I want to spend as much time around that person as I possibly can. And that includes going to his shows and watching him play and watching his amazing band do what they do. But also, we want to hang out at the merch stand. We want to hang out afterwards. And all of it is marketing. Just as long as you're not keeping in your head, like let's say you're at the merch stand, you don't want to be keeping in your head and going, okay, we're chatting to these people at the merch stand. We need to push them to buy some merch, because
like,
people,
that's what I mean. I'm not
yeah,
gonna push it. Like, we had the Cassia support. We didn't sell much merch, but we had quite a lot of people coming up. To be honest, most of them thought I was one of the people selling the merch for the touring support and for Cassia.
nice.
But they kept asking, they were like, they're like, how much is this? That I was like, I don't know.
I have no idea.
But a lot of them got talking to me. They're like, because most of the crowd, well, there was a big chunk of people that showed up for us, but we were quite on quite early, so we had more
Mhm.
people. There were more people who showed up afterwards, um, and because I think we got announced fairly soon before the show, if I remember correctly.
Right.
So like some of the posters didn't say my name on it, which is fine.
It
And a lot of people,
happens.
yeah, it happens, especially at my level. But like we had a lot of people who were coming up and said like they didn't know that I'd played first, so they were.
Mhm.
I have business cards. I was giving them to anyone who was interested, just like for free, and saying like this is my QR code on it if you want to stream my music. Um, and I'd offer people shirts if they were interested, but at the same time, like the shirt's just 15 quid for me. Like it's
Yeah.
fine if not. I find that just being there and people coming up to have conversations of any kind is really fun. We ended up signing someone's back, which was really funny. And like honestly, we've had some great conversations and stuff, and people don't need to buy my merch. Like I love if you buy my merch. It's great. It's money for me. It's like but and it's also it's like the most direct way of supporting us financially as a band. But
Yeah.
I I also I'm not so I have to be bothered about the finances, but also I'm not like come and have a nice chat. There's no need to buy merch if you don't want to.
Yeah, and
That's
honestly, you
which
take that
mm,
pressure off, and you will start seeing it to come. And I know you're doing that. I'm kind of saying it more for anyone listening
sure.
that is really focusing on those numbers and on those objectives. They will come, but they
Mm.
come
The
by
numbers are
not
great,
putting
but like
pressure. Yeah, exactly. Also, quick hint: if you're at a gig or anything, rather than business cards, you've got way more chance of someone losing a business card. And either put in a back pocket, ends up in the wash, and then they can't scan the QR code properly on your phone, man. On your
oh,
phone like that.
that's
That
actually
is
not a
what
bad
I do.
shout.
So what I've
Okay,
got is a QR code there. Someone scans it and it comes up with my contact ID, so they
yeah,
can literally just hit save, and it saves my name, my phone number, and my email. People are probably going to scan
okay,
that now. My email, so they can contact me, and it just saves on their
yeah,
phone. So it's there instantly, and it says like Tom Carnell, the Mercians number, email, or Tom Carnell Dire Digital, whichever person I am that day and whatever event I'm
yeah,
at, it will come up with the right thing. So I'd honestly really recommend, because you can get an instant scan on your phone right there if you want someone, and you can have the QR code on your phone linked to like your Instagram, or if you've got a link tree or anything like that, you can have it linked to whatever you want. But QR code on phones on you, I literally have it on my wallpaper. I don't change my wallpaper, it is always there. So you
yeah,
can instantly go bam, scan that, and you're done. It's
yeah,
a lot better and a lot more successful than business cards for sure. So business cards are great and they do still
mm.
work and people keep them, but I'm awful for it. Like if I put a business card in my pocket, it's going in the washing machine, and then I'm going to go, I can't read it properly, or it's in bits all in my washing
What
machine.
happened?
It's
What
clogged
happened
it
with the
up.
one Matt from the Mercians gave you? My
I've
one.
got it. I've got it somewhere. It actually has not ended up in my washing machine. I made sure of
Yes.
it because we'd been talking,
Well,
hadn't we? So I've got yours, but I cannot tell you where it is.
what would you say like from your experience in general? What is the biggest lesson you've learned? Like whether that's in like live experience of your own or like touring with the Mercians or something similar.
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a very broad
That's
question.
yeah, I like it though. I don't like sounding really generic with this, but I guess generic is an answer for a reason sometimes, right?
Mm,
Two big things that I've learned,
yeah,
especially from my time of gigging but doing other things. Number
yeah,
one.
oh, yeah.
So number
Sorry, my
one,
window's been funny.
that's okay. Number one is everything will always be fine. And I know that sounds
Yeah,
quite silly, but we can get so like, especially when it comes to gigs. Gigs can be stressful. When you
yeah,
start acknowledging that things are going to go wrong when you turn up to a venue, because I have ran hundreds, over maybe at least 500-600 gigs in my time, at
Yeah,
least, probably more thinking about it. Every single time something goes wrong, whether it just be one channel on a PA that's just not working, whether it be your whole lighting rig that's crashing, whether it be a band gets stuck in traffic,
yeah,
something goes wrong. And if you can, and this is not just live, but this is the same with everything, something will always go wrong. The thing that does not help the things that go wrong is stress. I
yeah.
used to be a very, very stressed person.
Oh, same. I still am
Yeah.
sometimes.
Do you know what happened? I quit smoking 2 years ago, and as of more recently, I've quit smoking, and I've been addicted to nicotine since I was like 14, so very long time I was smoking for. Quit smoking. Two things reduce my stress levels, but also getting into that mindset of just going, whatever happens will happen. We can be so, especially in the music industry, we are so surrounded by stress all the time. Like we were saying earlier, things move at such a fast pace. But if you're sat stressing and getting really irate about things, it's just not helping anyone. Someone
Yeah,
turned around to me from one of the support bands we did a show at the O2 Academy in Leicester with the Mercians back in
yeah,
November. One of the bands turned around to me and said, "You are the most chill tour manager I've ever met in my life." And I'm like, I agree. Like, I've met a lot of tour managers. Them are just full of stress. And you know what? Every time just something gets sorted, whatever the problem is, when you work together, things get sorted. So that's number one. The second thing, and this is something I've learned more and more as I've gone on, and I'm turning 33 next month, and as I've got into my
oh,
30s, this is such
yeah,
a big thing I've learned, is patience is so valuable. If you're spending your entire career chasing things, wanting things to happen straight away, the fact of the matter is they don't. And anything that's worth building, anything that is worth your time in doing, will take time to do. So I've been putting off doing what I'm doing now for a long time because there was a lot of, what if it doesn't work straight away? What if people think I'm chatting shit and don't trust their word that I say? You know, what if all of these things go wrong? And the counterpoint really is, if it takes long and it feels hard and it's stressful, it is the right thing. You
yeah,
know, like, it is right. And you know in your gut if something feels right. And so when we are artists and we're making music, if it feels right, just keep going. We can get,
yeah,
I get so many people messaging me saying, I just want to get my streams up. I just want to get my followers up. And like I said to you earlier on that other question, it will come with time. The thing is,
yeah,
we just have to we just have to stop putting so much pressure on it all the time, because as soon as we start doing that, we're setting ourselves up to fail, because we're setting ourselves up with such high expectations to achieve something with whatever goal that you have, whether it is, I want to do a sellout tour, or if it's,
yeah,
I want to get 100,000 streams in total this year, or whatever it is. We're setting ourselves up to just feel let down. And you know what? Half the time when we even hit those milestones, because they can be so superficial, we can hit them and still not feel satisfied, because then we're chasing the next thing. It's like a drug. You're just chasing the next thing, the next thing. You're never feeling
yeah,
satisfied. One thing to always chase is happiness and feeling content with whatever you're doing. Like, you really sound like you're having a great time doing what you're doing. And
yeah. Like, as long as I can
that's the
keep on top
ultimate
of the
goal.
stress levels sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. But the ultimate goal here is to just be happy and do the things that we love.
Yeah,
And obviously, really what we want is to be able to go, I can quit my job and I can go and pursue this full time.
yeah,
But we have to understand that these things take a lot of time to be able to do. We're unfortunately trying to get ourselves into an industry that is hard to break. It is an unfair industry. People
but then
like
where would be
artists
the
are
fun,
treated
you
like
know?
shit. Exactly. And then
If it
if
were
you are
easy,
just exactly.
if I were headlining the O2 by next year, I'd be like, well, what? I didn't get the journey.
Yeah. It's like playing a game, right? It's like playing a
Yeah,
video game, but it's only got 3 levels, and you get to the end, you're not going to feel satisfied by that. You're going to be like, oh,
yeah.
that was boring, wasn't it? So
It's
that's
like,
the
okay, I
exact
did that.
mentality.
And it's like that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I I would love to be doing like big shows, festivals like Glastonbury. I'd
Of
love to headline
course.
Glastonbury. I'd love to do a stadium tour one day,
Yeah.
but not yet. Like if I, it's, yeah, like I said, it's like if I did that, it would be amazing. Like sellout crowd all singing my words back to me. Amazing, rewarding. But
Absolutely.
I I'm actually like one of my biggest fears is what will I do then? Like when if I eventually get that big with my band, that's brilliant. But then once I hit that kind of
What's next?
what's next? Like I think I would I would be more again, like I'd love to grow as an artist, but I'd be the kind of if it's in my hands, I'd love to be more like big like that, but also doing smaller venues,
Hmm.
like exclusive shows, but more often, like as often as I can without it becoming a bit of a novelty.
Exactly.
Without
And this
losing
is
its novelty, I
it.
mean.
Because if it were easy, we'd get bored. And I think
Yeah,
especially
exactly.
now, I don't know, I don't feel like it's always been like this. I might be wrong, but it feels like we're always thinking about the destination when actually there's this whole journey in the middle that we are on. And it's a mad ride. And the thing is, if we're sat here moaning about how difficult it is to navigate the industry and not
Mm.
doing anything to apply ourselves in it, we're not going to get anywhere. If we're sat here going, like you say, I want to be headlining tours, and even on a smaller scale, I want to be doing 100, 200 people tours and eight
Yeah, if I could do a
shows.
100 cap room, like a few shows over the
Exactly.
UK, that'd be great.
But if you're putting it there to go, I want to do that in 6 months' time, it's just unrealistic, and you're just setting
Yeah,
yourself up to feel really disappointed. So it's really about patience and time,
yeah.
and really just trying to believe in yourself that I'm making these steps towards a bigger goal, then that's what it's about. When I bought the venue that I owned, I'd been
Which
working there it was the Shed in Leicester.
oh yeah,
So
I've
I'd
heard of
been
it.
working there for 5 years as a promoter.
Yeah.
And the next path to me seemed to be, I want to own this.
Mm.
Ever since I first started working there, I was like, I want to own the Shed. That's what I want to do. That's my goal. And I spent 5 years as a promoter, and I fucking loved every single day I got to turn up to work and do my job. I got paid nothing. Like literally, I was getting paid 10% of the bar, and then I spent the other 4 years making just shy of $1,000 a month just to cover my bills. But I loved it. I loved doing that job. And you know what happened?
Exactly. That's what makes it rewarding.
Exactly. But I bought the venue, and I had to give that job to somebody else because
Mm.
I had to sit and manage the business, manage the finances. And let me tell you, when you are sat having to wake up every morning and do fucking accounts, it is dull. And all of a sudden I sat there and I went, I've been chasing this dream for years. And this is not what I expected it to be
Yeah.
at all. Like this is crap. I miss working toward this. I had such a
Mm.
good time working toward this that actually now I'm here and it's just a bit boring. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying when you go in headline arenas, you're just going to be sat there going, I'm fucking bored. I mean, you might. Who knows? You might find it's not for you. But
I imagine they'll
it's,
probably just find other things to do at the same time. You know,
yeah. And
like
when people are looking at what other people are doing and comparing themselves, you're forgetting that those people have got to a point and then they're going, what's next? What's more? I think it's quite hard for us
yeah,
sometimes to sit and feel content because we're always chasing the next thing. We're always going, I'm not doing enough. And if we start to try and flip that and go, I'm doing everything enough because I'm sat here and I'm happy,
yeah.
that's what it should be all about. And I know it sounds quite utopian in a way because it sounds like I'm saying, don't worry about money or paying your bills or paying your rent or whatever you've got.
That would
Don't
be the
worry about
day.
it. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is have some happiness behind it too. There are so many
Yeah.
people that spend their lives sat in jobs that they hate doing.
Mm.
And even if you're sat in a job that you hate doing, what you're then doing is you're getting up every weekend, in theory, and going out and playing gigs. No one else is doing that. Everyone else is sat going, I'm knackered. I want to go and just chill in my garden, mow the lawn, or whatever it is. But as musicians, we're going, I'm getting up at the weekend. I'm going to feel shattered. I'm going to travel loads of miles to play a gig I'm not getting paid for, where I'm probably playing in front of 10 people. But you know what? When I'm on that stage, I'm going to have the best time in the world.
Mm.
I really am. And you
Yeah.
know what? I wasn't going to say a third thing. Third thing I've learned is no matter how much pressure, how much you hear about how good social media and digital marketing is, it is great. As a band, as an artist, there is nothing better for promotion or your happiness than going out and playing live. It's
Yeah,
why we all do it. There is nothing that beats it. And I'm not even just talking about in this kind of emotional happiness state. I'm talking practically as well. When you are conveying yourself to another person for them to get invested in you and you are at a show, it's so much easier to get people invested with you because you've got that direct human connection. Whereas through a screen, when you're messaging, it's really difficult to be able to do that because you're kind of sometimes maybe getting in your head a bit too much at how formal, how informal am I being? Or if you're on video, you're like, am I saying the right things? If you're
yeah,
on the phone, you're doing the same. But if you are face to face, in person, and you're just chatting, you're not over analyzing yourself, you're just having a conversation, and that's
yeah.
when your true authenticity comes through. Now if you're a bell end, that's a bit of a problem because then people are going to sniff you out, but I like to think most people are not, and most people are very genuine and kind people, and
Most
so
people
we
in the
can do
industry
that.
I've met so far are like good people. Like
It's because people do not survive the music industry if they're not.
literally, I mean, like I've worked with a lot of people, and it's like you get a lot of bell ends, you get a lot of good people, but the good people are the ones that filter through. Like especially with
Absolutely.
I found when I started networking, I'm not saying the people I'd like first networked with were bell ends. I'm saying like I met a lot of people who were gatekeepers
Hmm.
or like just not as willing to help smaller artists out, which is just the way it was. But like when I got involved in especially when I started getting involved in the Portsmouth music scene before I moved here for uni in Brighton. Um, I think is there was a lot that like with my old band, Not So Clever, especially playing for them. Like I met the people who were putting on shows in Portsmouth that I like they were all these people who'd been behind the scenes at loads of shows that I'd been to. Um, and it's like Fitz Promotions, ABH Promotions, they've been great. Like they're both really good Portsmouth based ones that just been really helpful for all of us. Like me, my
Yeah.
band, and like my old band. And I wouldn't be where I am now without their help, their advice. Same with the guys in Southampton from like Joiners Live. They've been really taking chances on me with the Cassia support. The Tommy Smith support was them as well. And yeah, that took meeting people like them, and then the guys in Portsmouth, and a lot of the people I've met in Brighton. It's taken years. It's taken years of not meeting the right people until
Yeah,
suddenly someone points you in the right direction, or you meet someone who
for
then is
sure.
willing to fight your corner, and it really pays off.
Yeah, especially when you're constantly kind and you're
Mm.
constantly like. It sounds like you're the kind of person that has like embedded yourself into that music scene. Like you try and get out to gigs all the time. If even if you're not playing, you're watching,
Yeah, well, I
you're
mean that's what I
chatting
mean.
with people.
The people are all the people behind the scenes. They're my mates
Mhm.
now. Like
Yeah,
it. I know, like it's just good knowing these people because
for sure.
not only because like I'm trying to get something out of them, but because they're interesting people to talk to,
Yeah,
and it's like it's the same here. Like this is the kind of conversation I really enjoy. But like whether or not like you're offering me a job in the industry or something, or like opportunities later down the line, I don't like. I mean, I care about stuff like that. When I'm looking for opportunities, I care about stuff like that. But I also care about the conversation in the first place
of
because people are
course.
and people are fun.
Yeah,
Just as long as you're with the right people, you know, just working with the right
that's
people.
what it's about.
Yeah,
That's what it's about. And like you say, it takes a lot of finding the wrong people until you find the right people.
yeah.
So I would
Again, trial and
always,
error.
yeah, exactly. And I would always try and network as much as I could with other artists and take a chance on them, just like Joiners Live do with you, especially like local artists when I was at the Shed. Because what would happen is if you take a chance on those people, they're going to keep coming back to you. And also, at some point, they're going to grow. And then you can
Hmm.
go, we're going to book in their headline show here because now all of a sudden, you know, you're a person that is in demand. And I get to have you come to our venue first because we've given you so many opportunities. So you're going to give us so many opportunities. And it's
Yeah,
back and forth. And there is this whole thing of in the industry, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? I
yeah.
think a lot of people
I
can
I
take that.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say that to me,
Yeah. And I think a
but
lot
it's
of
so
people can
true.
take that as a point of privilege, as a point of, oh, well, you're all right because you know that person. It's like, yeah, but how do you think they know that person? Because they're not sat at home planning their TikTok schedule, they're out in the
Yeah,
scene at music venues chatting to the people that are
yeah,
working in the industry every day and are networking with the people that actually are going to take a chance on them and give them
exactly.
something, you know?
And
So,
that's
and
people.
that's what it's all about.
People always ask me about networking and stuff like that, and why I know so many people. And it's like just go to gigs. Go to gigs.
Yeah.
There will be someone there.
Yeah.
Like it depends. Like it depends what gig, what venue, who you're seeing, but obviously there's always going to be a promoter or someone who's putting the show on.
Hmm.
Like our headliner last year in Brighton, our debut headliner, we did that independently, but
Nice.
those people will still have connections. And like I've been getting the shows that I have because I've known these people for a good few years now. So again, the guy from Joiners Live who's only been he's well not only just but like he was offering my old band gigs last year. So I met him about 2 years ago,
Hmm.
April 2 years ago I think, and he was repping a show that we did in Southampton, like a really small show. Um, and I stayed in contact with him, and he was offering us quite big supports and stuff. Like just sod's law, we could never make them, but when
It
I
happens.
it happens. But like then I didn't hear from him for a few months, and then suddenly I did my thing. I started doing my thing, and we got that headliner at the Hope and Ruin in Brighton, pretty much sold it out. Really good turnout, and he reached out again, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to support Tommy Smith?" I was like, "Yes." Oh, there was
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
that's what I mean. It's like it's come off about 2 years of knowing him,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean. Like obviously, I don't I don't I don't know him just because I want things from him, but like because he's just a really good guy to talk to, and I spent most of that gig after we played just chatting to him about stuff.
Yeah. And that's the way to do
The gig I
it.
met.
That's how you find out new things. That's how
Mhm.
you learn.
Exactly, and then that's again similar with ABH promotions and Fitz promotions. Like the guys from ABH do they work at the Wedgewood as it is. Like one of the guys is the one of the guys is working sound all the time there, like whether
Yeah.
or not he's putting the show on. And so I met him through like the Fitz promotion shows because we my old band were playing a lot of his stuff, and then my band's done some of ABH's stuff since because we got to know each other, and it's just they're all really lovely people.
And when
It's
you're
the
out
vibe.
networking like that and chatting to people, did you find you had to like break this barrier of, am I being really annoying? Because I had to.
Yeah, actually, on that note, I was going to ask about like imposter syndrome in the industry.
Oh, it's the worst.
I
Yeah.
literally I'm weapons grade ADHD,
Yeah.
which does not do anything to help my anxiety. Um,
I could imagine.
yeah, so I found myself like not applying for gigs sometimes because
Mm,
I'm thinking like, oh, if I message this person, will they be like, oh, for God's sake, or
leave me
like,
alone kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, and I know rationally that that's not true, but at the same time, sometimes I just get in my own head about it so much that I actually can't bring myself to send that message.
Yeah, here's where my brain has worked. I can so relate to imposter syndrome, not so much with the ADHD side, but imposter
No, but
syndrome for
it all
sure.
manifests in different ways, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. And I can't tell you how many times. So I went to uni. I started uni late because I didn't really feel like doing it when I was 18. You know, I wanted a few years
Mhm.
out working a job. Finish uni, and it took me ages to start contacting. I knew I wanted to work at a venue, right? But I'd never worked at a venue before. I'd put on
Yeah.
like 2 gigs before, and it took me ages to get out of that cycle of they're going to think I'm really annoying or they're going to laugh me. They're going to like laugh at me out the door, right? And
Same.
even more recently, like starting this, what I'm doing now, it's only been like a month and a half, 2 months, I think. And the whole time I've been wanting to do this, I've been putting it off because I would go, what if I post a TikTok video or something on Patreon or whatever it is I'm doing, and someone comments or someone makes a thing and they go, you don't know what you're fucking talking about. Inside,
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for quite a while, but like on the surface, it's very much there to go, you don't know what you're talking about. There's something that I looked at the other day that was really, really interesting. I think I covered it in one of the Patreon videos I did. Our brains, from when we were like humans a very, very, very long time ago, I'm talking like
Yeah.
caveman eras, was trained to look out for any kind of dangers anywhere, because at one point we were not top of the food chain, we were nowhere near, right? So our brains have always been there to be trained
It's that fight
to
or
look
flight.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. To look out for danger and to protect us from danger, right? So here's what I do. We are still in that point where you're going, oh my God, what if I'm annoying? Because what your brain is doing is it's protecting you from any kind of confrontation or having someone make you feel like shit, right? It's going, if I don't ask, I won't feel like shit, even though you will feel like shit because you haven't asked. So it's a bit of a vicious cycle. Here's one thing I've started to do is I'm turning around to my brain, and it sounds really silly, but I promise you it works, and going, thanks so much for trying to protect me, but I don't need your protection anymore. And all of a sudden you can go, and the second thing, if you're scared of messaging anyone because you think you might come across annoying, there is a very, very slim chance, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but there is a very slim chance that someone could come back and be rude and disrespectful and a bit of a dick.
But then they're not,
because those people
anyone who's worth their salt won't be.
Exactly. If someone is like that to you, you've got your answer. Don't work with them. They are a red flag.
Yeah.
You will have problems. And all that's happened by someone coming at you like that is you've gone, again, it's an error. We're trying an error in. We're getting loads of errors. One of the errors is, okay, that guy's a red flag. That girl's a red flag. Don't want to work with them anymore. I'm like, no way. But what's happened is I've learned. And you know what? You could have learned by them not showing that side of them, booking in a gig with them, and then being awful on the gig, treating you very inappropriately. You could have found out the hard way, but you've actually found out the easy way. By someone saying and someone being confrontational or a bit of a dick to you, you straight away are going, right, I'm backing off. I know that is just not worth it. So you're learning a lesson, and you're learning it very quickly, rather than getting yourself in that uncomfortable position, working with them, and then finding out. Or if it's like, let's say it's a company that you want to work for or work with even, and you have to pay them some money for something. If they are instantly responding like that, well, well, my money's not going there. I'm not spending any money with these people, and you can save your money and you can give it to people that it's worth your time with. So imposter syndrome's awful. It's impossible just to go, bam, see you later. There are a couple of things that I always really try and do. Honestly, the thanking, like, it just sounds, I know it just sounds really kind of weird, but like looking in the mirror and thanking your brain and going, thank you so much for protecting me. I don't need your protection anymore. I'm fine. All of a sudden you're breaking that barrier and going, I'm just going to send it. Sometimes if I've got an email written out and I'm scared to send it, I will get my cursor over on that send button. I will close my eyes and I will just hit click and go, let's just do it. My life started to change when I started saying yes to everything, and when I just started to do everything. And if there is something in you that is telling you not to do it, it's probably going to be more worth it, because like I said earlier, the hard things are normally the best, most rewarding things. And sometimes they don't pay off, but life's a risk. It's short. We're
Again,
only here
that was
for,
with,
you know.
With the Cassia support, they put out on their Instagram saying we're looking for like local supports for the upcoming tour. I was thinking, like, because like 99% of the time I'll put my name in the comment section and probably not get the gig.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, it's Cassia. I've wanted to support them for the past 3 years, but also they've just got so big recently. Like, this is a 750 cap venue they're doing.
Yeah.
And I'd have loved to play that venue. I'd have loved to support Cassia in general. But I was just thinking, like, is it worth trying, or do I just not bother? Because it's like the comment section thing again. 99% of the time I don't get it. Also, are Cassia too big for me? And I thought, like, screw it. I'll just put my name there. There's literally nothing.
The worst you can get is a no, really.
Either a no or just no reply, which, like, again, comment sections, you don't always get a reply.
No.
And then, like, month or so later or whatever, I'd forgotten about it, and the guy from the Joiners reached out to me, like, do you want to do this? I was like, yes.
Please.
And so he put me forward, and they said yeah, and it was just like, it's hard to kind of overcome that feeling of inadequacy. And
For
I'm also
sure.
also my biggest thing as well is trying. I sometimes I right rationally I don't struggle to tell the difference between criticism and actually just being rejected.
Yeah.
Like we had we tried to get Great Escape this year, me and my band through our uni, because they had a audition thing where we could put forward to play it.
Yeah.
We didn't get through, and the panel basically we got an email from the uni, and it had like a bunch of notes that the panel gave us, which are brilliant.
That's
Is
sick, by the way,
really
that
really
they've
good.
done
Like,
that. Yeah.
yeah, they're really lovely people, and they basically, because again, this was about 4 months into us being a band. This was February sort of time, 4 or 5 months, um, and they basically said to us, they're like, look, like, especially considering how long you've been going, like this is really good for where you are, but right now it's not the right time. So take this advice, basically tighten up a little bit more of a cohesive image, like with your outfits and stuff. Um, maybe like work on the sound check and like just the punctuality of that all. Like we were there on time and everything. It was a smooth sound check, but there were just a
Yeah.
few things we could have prepared for before starting the sound check because it was like a really fast paced sort of environment. The audition,
Yeah,
it was
you
meant to
learn
be
through them very quickly.
yeah, and again, like great advice, and that actually made me feel really good about it because I was like, we didn't make Great Escape this year. Maybe we'll do it next year because they basically it was literally like work on these, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, have a crack at it next year. If you've done all of
For
this, then
sure.
you'll be in a good position. There was actually that got me started on TikTok.
Yeah.
Well, like not started, I've done some, but like more, it got me working on being more regular with my posts and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like we've tried for other festivals, for other stuff. Most of the time, we don't get feedback, which again, it's fair enough. Like um, a lot of the time, there's not like the time, or it wouldn't be fair because not everyone's getting feedback. Um, and but like I think the feedback when it's there, it really helps me know why we didn't get picked and whether we're in a position where we could try it again next year.
It's such a
And
good
that's
thing to
yeah,
have as well because,
constructive criticism is great.
yeah, for sure, because you can look at it and go, right, that's how we learn, that's how we grow.
Yeah,
Like it's kind of like a cheat sheet in a way because you're like, some people from the industry are telling me personally what I'm doing wrong, and then I can, and how to make that better. So then when it
yeah,
comes to next year, you're going in fully prepared. And like you said, even if you don't get it next year, you get it the year after. You're just
yeah.
progressing and you're just
Also,
learning, and
the great
that's what
thing as
it's all
well is
about.
this. The great thing as well is that panel for the Great Escape was they were just like they were local musicians and industry professionals. Like one of the guys does the bookings for Green Door Store and
Oh,
stuff.
cool.
Like he works there, does the bookings. Really lovely guy, and I see him
Mm,
around every now and then because again, he's at Green Door. I'm there every now and then,
yeah.
and whenever I see him there or somewhere else, he'll always check in and see like he'll ask how we're doing. And like what we've been doing to work on that advice. So like
Yeah.
it's good because they auditioned a lot of people that day, but he still remembers and puts in that effort to see how we're doing and whether we can keep building on it next year. I hope he's on the panel next year.
And do you know what? Even if he's not only is he helping giving you advice, he's keeping an eye. So when you
Yeah,
get to that point where you are hitting next level, and he's like, they've listened to me, and they're now doing this stuff that I've said to apply themselves with, and they have. You're gonna get gig offers in from him, like guaranteed. He's just sat waiting for you to get there and get there and get
hopefully.
there, for sure, for sure. Like there would be no other reason, in a bit of a harsh way, no other reason to give feedback,
Yeah,
because you would go, I want to invest my time into this person. I want to give them this feedback because
yeah,
eventually, at some point, I know I can get him in on a either a support show or, if he's ready, a headline show, and
yeah.
that's wicked. So it's all preparation, and it goes back again to that point we were saying earlier about it being about the journey.
Hmm.
That is part of your journey. You could, a lot of people, I think, and you could have looked at that and gone, oh, fuck that. Why are we bothering? Like, I've just got all
I've
this stuff thrown
I've
at me
done
and
that
it
in the
just
past
feels
with
like
other.
crap.
I've done that in the past when I've tried to audition for other things with my really old bands when we didn't make it through to things. Like when I was a lot less experienced in the industry, I'd just take it as like, oh, they don't want us, they'll never want us.
Yeah,
But
like,
like,
we're shit. We're always going to be shit.
but then like I with Great Escape, especially the lot that like auditioned from my uni, and with Golden Touch Festival actually,
Yeah,
I auditioned for that around the same time. Well, not an audition, but I put my name forward. Um, and like it would have been disheartening, but then at the same time, I thought about it this way. I was like this again. We're a very new band. I kind of applied the same sort of stuff to Golden Touch as I had Great Escape. Um, and it was again, we're new. There were a lot of other bands up for it, and again, because I've been going to loads of gigs over the past few years, I know most of these bands. I know most of the people in them. They're friends of mine, and they have been playing for years. Like
yeah,
at least like in this incarnation of what they're doing. They've been playing in this band for a while now, and the fact that they got shortlisted or picked, especially, is like it's just good to see. And
for
like these
sure.
guys, whether or not I make it through or not, I that's immaterial. It's also just really good to see my mates going and doing it. Like the Isle
Yeah.
of Wight, Harvey Dodgson, Crystal Tides, they're good friends of mine. They both got the Isle of Wight this year. Tommy Smith got the Isle of Wight this year. So like some other mates of mine from Portsmouth and that just going through to doing more shows, like bigger shows, and festivals and stuff. The more I see my mates going up as well, it just makes me really happy.
It's
I'm
such a good
jealous as hell because
attitude.
I'd love to be doing that myself. But
Yeah.
like good for them.
Anyone that's listening
That
that does not have that attitude, change it, because
it's just
it is not about competition. It is not
yeah,
about,
it's
oh,
just
they're doing this, I'm not doing this. You are celebrating what your mates are doing, and that's all. That's
yeah.
commendable. There are so many people that
I'll
don't do
then,
that enough.
but I'll also look at what they're doing different to me, especially the ones who are getting a lot of success at the moment. I'll look at them and be like, I can work on that myself.
Mm,
Like they're
yeah,
like whether they're more experienced and frequent posting on TikTok and like interacting with fans, or whether they're more like whether they're just like good at building up hype. Whether it's in their songwriting or their style. I'd say the cohesive image is one thing that I want to work on a bit more with my band at the moment.
yeah.
Image building a hype audience, and like we're tightening up a lot as a band as well. Like our sound is getting better and better by the gig, by the rehearsal, which is great. It feels great. Um, and I think that's just that. If I ever get like insecure because that again, like I get like very happy for my mates, and sometimes like sometimes when I get rejected for a show or a festival or something, there'll be that little bit of my brain that goes just like, oh, you're not good enough.
Oh, of
Uh,
course, and that will never
and
go away.
yeah, literally. But it's like then I can also say to myself, that's just that it's just it comes in time, and we're quite new. It's
Mhm.
fine. We'll take a bit of time, just work on it, like pick ourselves up again. That's that's what like I also I like to look at what I'm doing and be like it's not like I haven't achieved anything.
Yeah, right.
I supported Cassia last month. Like I did not
This is
I
it.
never saw myself doing that. Like I wanted to for 3 years. I'm a big fan of Cassia, and like I supported Cassia. I supported Tommy Smith. I supported Honeybuzz, and it's again like not
This
in
is
like
it.
competition or comparison, but
No,
it's like
no.
it's
Celebrate
good.
it though.
Yeah, I'll
Because
celebrate that, and I'll
if
be
you're
like,
willing to sit and look at all the things you don't have, be willing
yeah,
to sit and look at all the things you have, and in fact make that more important.
mm,
Like you don't need to like we can get so hooked on, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. You forget about all the cool shit that you are doing. You know,
yeah,
like I always do struggle with imposter syndrome when it comes to my tour managing, because I came from the other side, right? And I see these other tour managers going about, and there is that bit in my brain that goes, oh God, I shouldn't be doing this. They know what they're doing and I don't. But actually, when I look at it properly, I go, well, hang on, I've been in this industry for quite a long time. Just because I've been in a slightly different job
but that
role.
gives you a different perspective.
Exactly. And like I know what I'm talking about. You know, I know what
Maybe you've got something
promoters
that they
like I
haven't.
used to be want. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
Again, it's not a competition, but like
no, but it's
everyone's
shifting that
different.
perspective rather than looking at what do I not have. It's what do I have? What am I doing? What
Yeah,
am I achieving? You can list off loads. You know what? If you had like a TikTok that hit a few thousand views, awesome. If you played a cool support show that got like 50 people there watching your band that had never seen you before, fucking
yeah,
sick. Anything, anything. Because at the end of the day, you're already doing more than what a lot of people are doing, and that is just by applying yourself and getting yourself out there. Everything will come in time. It really
Yeah,
will, as long as you sit and you're patient with it.
I'm
Because
happy to give it that time, especially like that. But it's like I said earlier, if you'd asked me 2, 3 months ago, I would have wanted an EP out by the end of the year. Great. I don't have the audience to
Mhm.
really give that its full potential yet.
And
And
it's starting to look
I
at
didn't real
why do you want to do those things? Like,
yeah,
what are the is there tactic and strategy behind it, or is it because you're going, I feel like I should have an EP?
it was very much, and I feel like I should have an EP
Yeah.
because I'd released I'd released the 3 songs that I've got out now, and I was thinking, well, when I was starting off, I was planning like release EP out by probably about this time this year.
Yeah.
No way I would have got that far. There's no, I didn't. I'm not there,
Yeah.
which is fine. And there's something that my cousin always used to say to me. My cousin Ollie, he was in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
He used to play, and he would also um he ended up getting involved in like graphic design and worked. So he was freelance for a while, did a lot for Island Records as
Oh,
well.
sweet.
So he worked for like Sigrid, I think Drake, and a few other people.
That's
Um,
amazing.
Shaka Khan, actually, that's one that I like to name
No
drop.
way.
Yeah, but I always look up to him for that. And he used to tell me, no one's waiting. Like with an EP
Exactly.
or with a release or anything, no one's waiting. Just take the time, make sure you're happy with it.
Yeah.
But if you're
Yeah.
going to do it, like if I'm going to do a marketing thing, like an actual campaign over the course of a few releases, I'll want all of that done before I start it.
For sure. For sure.
But like because with the last 3 releases, I released "Dumb Luck," my first single, and then I was like, okay, I need more, I need more, and I was like trying to record as I was releasing them, and it caught up to me because I didn't have the time
Yeah.
to always keep up with recording, and
Yeah.
yeah, I just remembered what Ollie would say about like no one's waiting after this last one that I released. I thought, you know what, next few months, maybe even for the rest of this year, I might not release yet, or maybe like one at the end of the year. It
Yeah.
really depends. But like I want to. That's why I was thinking demos because I've got the facilities to record demos now. I
Sick.
put some demos together, and just start dropping that and seeing who's interested.
Yeah.
Whichever, like building up the hype, getting a bit of a fan base, and then whichever one takes, whichever one just kind of takes off over the
Let the
rest of it.
people decide, because
Yeah,
you know,
I don't
if
know
you
which one
want
I've
success,
single for my upcoming
exactly,
EP, whenever that
you've
is.
probably written them and you love all of them. If you want success
Oh, no.
from them, but if you want success from them, let the people that you're trying to
Mm.
showcase your music to, let them
Yeah,
choose, because
I mean that's
they're the ones.
but like the three out of the 3 that I've released, Twist the Knife, I'm definitely the most proud of. That's like I definitely that's lyrics wise especially. That's the most proud I've ever been of a song, apart from like one that I probably won't release for a while,
Yeah.
because it's not really like single material. But that's a whole other story. But basically, yeah, I'm doing a lot of at the time I released it, I wasn't really very good with TikTok, but now I'm doing a lot of like post-release marketing, and it's getting quite a bit of attention. But well, out
Nice.
of the 3 songs that I've got, it's definitely got the most attention online. But
And that's instantly showing you, like,
yeah,
this is working.
I I wish I'd known this before I released it, but at the same time, I'm here now.
But now you
I'm
know
gonna,
for the next time you release
yeah,
something.
and we're probably going to revamp that song later down the line, like redo some of the instrumentals, the vocals, all of that. There's changes that we could make, and but that's the thing. I want to know what the people who are listening to my music or will be listening to my music think and what they want out. So I want to start showing my music because again, at the shows that I've been playing, people only really know because I haven't been pushing demos or anything else other than the songs that I've got released. So people only know those ones.
Yeah.
Apart from the loads of like the small group of people who come to most of my shows, like probably like 3, 4, 5 people who have been like almost every one of them
That's
respectively.
cool though. That's
Which
that's
is great.
wicked to have.
Yeah, and it's like that's great. They know most of the songs, so I wanna kind of grow that sort of fan base.
Yeah.
And the people who like Keo. I'm wearing my
Hmm.
Keo shirt right now, actually. It's I was chatting to the guitarist when they played Golden Touch. I was chatting to him after his set about just loads of different things. And one of my main things was like, I really admire what they did because they just like, to me, they came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, they were supporting Nivella, they were supporting Overpass, all of this. And it's like, I, that like to me again, they came out of nowhere. I didn't realize, I never knew they'd been a band. And I thought to myself, like, where the hell have they come from and why are they getting so many streams? Not like, not in a defensive way, but like in as just like, whoa,
Very
that,
intrigued kind of way. Like,
it's very
how are
much
they
like a
doing that?
that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, um, I discovered them because one of my mates was at one of their shows in London a while back, and he was just posting stuff. I was like, "Who's this?" And then I looked into them and read that they'd had stuff out before. I think mostly on SoundCloud,
Hmm.
but they had withheld so much. They dropped like a lot of teasers and that, or had the stuff out on SoundCloud and similar. So their fans, which the fan base which kept then growing because of that, were demanding more and more, and they
Yeah.
held off on that for so long that when they suddenly came out and released "I Lied Amber," like
It just
eighty
seemed
thousand,
like it just came across,
yeah,
they just blew overnight. And it's like, that never
loads of people were
happens.
going like, "Oh, they're lucky." I was like, "No, they
No, no, no.
when I
They're
really read into
smart.
it, I was like, "No, they've been working for that."
Yeah.
And I
For a
don't,
long time.
yeah, because I looked back into like other accounts of like I found I managed to find a few people who involved with like managing them in the past and stuff, but it goes back like 3 4 years at the
Yeah.
very least. And
Yeah.
I want to take that time now to like to work on that and build my fan base, make some connections, get a few little touring supports, maybe like 3 or 4 dates of a slightly bigger band.
It's so
At
important.
some point next year, maybe like start of next
Yeah.
year, but or maybe a few festival slots next year as well, which would be I'd love to do that. But I want to take that time now because of what I've seen Keo do, and I want to take that time to put demos out and like build up demand, get people to know the songs that I'm doing. So when they come to the shows, they're familiar. They're not just kind of standing around listening to this new stuff. Because I find when I'm at a show like of one of my favorite bands and suddenly they're playing new material, I'm like, this is cool, but I don't know the lyrics.
Yeah.
I can't engage as much, and I want people to
Yeah.
be able to engage. So
Definitely.
sorry, I'm waffling, but like
No, 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 no. I waffle all the time. You don't need to apologize for that at all. It's interesting because I think you have a very, very good mentality around this for sure. Like, you are doing everything right. You're doing a lot of things people should be, and you're not focusing on the big long term right now. You're going, let's go from the bottom and let's build
I want the long
outwards.
term, but like
Of course, but it's not the only thing you see. You're seeing
yeah,
all of the stuff that has to happen before you get there, and it's so
I'll
important.
admit I came into it a little bit cocky.
Yeah,
Like in November when I started, well, we like September October when we really started rehearsing and everything. But I was going into that thinking like I was kind of I my idea was that I really wanted to front a band because I'd played like lead guitar and bass for different bands, and I'd yeah, I really wanted to front a band. That's kind of always been in the back of my mind. I thought I've got these connections now that I've made in this industry. I want to see how far it can take me, and I thought it would take me further faster.
yeah,
Admittedly, I was yeah again
as we all
a
do.
bit I went into it thinking that like thinking that the growth would be a little bit faster. Again, yeah, cocky of me, and that
We all
happened.
that's where it's where
But
we all start. We get humbled very quickly when it doesn't
in
happen.
hindsight, I'm surprised it grew as fast as it did. Like what I've got now, I didn't expect. I think it's because I saw it's because I saw there's a girl called Lexi Carroll playing at
Yeah,
Coco. Because my girlfriend really likes her music and she got me into her stuff. Um, and a friend of mine had a spare ticket to this gig at Coco in Camden, which is another band that we really like. So we went to see it, and I didn't realize Lexi Carroll was on support. Um, and I was like, I was talking to my friend, and she was like, "Yeah, that's Lexi Carroll." Um, she's like the same age as us, if not like younger. And I'm like, hold on, she's playing Coco. What am I doing?
Yeah, and it's so
So
easy to look at it like that,
yeah,
isn't it?
I
When
think I went into it envisioning myself playing Coco, but I
going,
didn't
yeah,
really
I'm
think
there.
about. I didn't think about
Hmm.
the start. So
Yeah,
like, I still haven't played Coco.
no,
Maybe one
but
day.
yeah, exactly.
That's
And
Coco is a
the
bucket list
start
thing.
is fun. Like we're all in a
Yeah,
period now where it's fun, and it should be about being fun.
yeah,
It shouldn't always be about how fast am I growing, how fast are things moving. We do move fast in this industry for sure. It's a very fast, ever changing industry. But we have to keep ourselves grounded sometimes. We have to
yeah,
sit and go and take count and go, what have I got? What's going on around me? Like I'm such a believer in gratitude. When you start being grateful for the things around you and for the things that you're achieving and for yourself too, your world
yeah.
will open up. If you're constantly looking around for the negatives and what you're not doing, you're living a very sheltered, closed off life. But if you can open yourself up to everything around you and go, look at this amazing stuff I'm doing, all of a sudden
That
life becomes
literally
very fun.
Coco. Eventually, if I eventually play it, would be great. But I love these little 100 cap venues and stuff that I'm playing at the moment.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
Because
intimate and you
when we
won't have
supported
it
Honey Buzz,
again.
I was stood over by the merch table for most of it because people wanted to keep talking.
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
that's
sweet.
that's building connection with people. And it's what we were
Yeah,
speaking about earlier. Like
been
that
quite good
what
friends
you're
with the guys.
doing there is marketing. It's
Yeah,
marketing. And it doesn't feel like it because it feels like it comes quite naturally and easy to you. But that's great because that's what you should be following.
I think
That
I've
you
always
know,
been quite social, which just helped. But that's just the thing I enjoy the most is the social
yeah.
side of it.
And you're playing to your strengths with that, by the way. If anyone's listening, if you're listening to this and going, I really struggle with that social side. That's fine. We all have strengths
Yeah,
and weaknesses, you know? We're just playing to our strengths by being social. If one of your strengths is, I know how to make fucking TikToks go viral, I can make like a really good one. Great, do more of it. Like, absolutely do more of it. I only give my account of what's worked for me and the artists I've worked with, but that's by playing to our strengths. Like, my biggest strength, I think we're quite similar in this sense, is live and chatting to people and socializing,
yeah,
but that's not the case for everyone. But as long as we're not trying to force ourselves
yeah,
to do things when we're not focusing on the strengths, it is good to step out of comfort zone, but only when you're actually going, well, am I playing to my strengths first? And then do I start looking at the things I'm not quite as strong as and building on it rather than straight away going, well, I want to do this thing that I love, but I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I don't love it, you know?
yeah,
So it's just about doing those things, playing to your strengths. For us, we love going out and chatting to people and networking and making
yeah,
friends. For others, it's not the same. You might be better when you're chatting on a message on a phone or voice noting or videoing or whatever. Broadcast channels, they're great for that. You know, you can
yeah,
socialize in that way. There's different ways. We're very lucky that we have these different ways of socializing now. And we can just get again so wrapped up in these things that we're not doing. But really try and think about what your strengths are and really try and think about, am I playing to those strengths? Because
yeah.
someone might be playing to their strengths and I might be going, I should be doing that. I should be playing to their strengths. But are you playing to
Got your
yours?
own strengths.
For
Like,
sure.
do your
Everyone
thing.
does.
Do what works for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely,
I
man.
I find I find it as exciting playing a show. Like, that's my favorite thing is performing. Like, first and foremost, and getting to just kind of go mad on stage. Um, it's a great energy release and everything. But it's just as fun after the show, then going around and talking to people.
For sure.
It's
It's
great because I
awesome.
love the attention. Don't get me wrong. I
It
yeah,
takes a big person to admit that as well, by the way. It's absolutely great that you love that. That's why you're doing it. Some people are very scared to admit that, but it's okay that
it's,
you do
it's like like if I've just played a show and you come up to me like, "Oh, mate, that was so good!" Like, give me more. Yes, this is brilliant. But also,
it.
it's just it's fun and it's rewarding because it means I know people are appreciating what I'm doing and the songs I'm writing and the energy that the band and I are putting across.
It's
And
like the hard work's paying off.
yeah, exactly. And it's like the Honeybuzz show in Portsmouth. We sold out our merch. Admittedly, we didn't have much left, but like it was still a decent chunk of it, and we sold out
Yeah,
more. We sold it out and
great.
had like we had extra orders in. I've actually got the last shirt that was ordered right here because I haven't posted it yet because I they wanted it signed by me and the band.
Right.
So I only just like yesterday was the first time I'd seen them all properly since like since like the first time we'd all been back together since that gig at the start of June.
Yeah.
So I got that signed, and I'm gonna post it soon. But it's like the fact that it's gone out this far, like the actual effect of that gig has gone this far from that gig, and like we're still getting people like talking about it, and people
Yeah.
saying they're going to come to more shows, and just like stuff like that is really
That's so
helpful.
exciting. That's so
It,
exciting
it
as well.
feels great,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like with the broadcast channel as well, it's helped it kind of continue from there.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to do another show.
Yeah.
Like between July and September, October, we've actually got nothing booked.
Always
Which,
happens around festival season. It is just if you're
yeah,
not doing the festivals, you're actually better off not playing gigs if you're not doing the festivals because they tend to be
yeah.
quite dead, to be honest.
Also, because the majority of my current audience is like, especially in Brighton, is other students.
Yeah.
Most of them have gone home now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we've got it's yeah until September at the earliest. Like I'm promoting a gig for some friends of mine. I'm putting one together, and I said to them, right, we're not if you want a good turnout, either we go all ham on the promotion like right now, or we wait until September to get it, like
Yeah.
at least mid to late September, because that's when people will be back. And it's like again, you get the odd few who come to shows over the summer. Like I know a lot of people who are sticking around, but it's unlikely that they're all going to be free for this gig.
For sure. And most
But
cities where you've got gigs are student places, so
yeah,
you are also working against that. Like a lot of the young audience are gone. Whereas,
yeah,
and as well, they're at festivals, they're saving their money for festivals. That's just how it is. And if you're not on the festivals, don't worry, you might get on the festivals next year or the year after. Like it will come,
yeah.
you
So
know?
I want to use this time to then focus on the demos and tightening up the band. So in come September we can hit the ground running,
Yeah, I love that.
and
I love
that's
that.
that's the plan at the moment. Because
You're
it's
not
just
you're not just sitting going, oh god, we're not doing
yeah,
anything. You're going, right, well, we're not gigging, so let's go and do something else.
we had a great run like up until now. We had a gig, at least one gig practically every month
Nice.
until June.
Yeah.
And well, we do have one in July. But yeah, it's like I really want to do more, but also if I do many more, I risk like I risk overselling, and like it will drive down sales for other tickets for other shows, this that, and I don't want to do so much that it drives that down. But I just love gigging, so
Yeah,
I
this is it. This is
it's
where it can get hard sometimes, isn't it? Because you're like, I know, especially if you're only in one or two areas, you're like, I know I've got to be a bit restricted. There is a very good reason promoters put things in place of you can't play a show 4 weeks either side of this show. It's,
yeah.
you know, it does have an effect. But
I
it's so
always used to
hard when
think
it's like the thing you love doing.
I always used to think that exclusivity periods were a bit harsh.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's just a bit funny. Like, what if we want to do more and more shows? I'm like, no, actually, now it makes a lot of sense.
Like, have you ever tried to promote two shows within 2 or 3 weeks of each other in the
Yeah,
same city or town? It ain't
yeah.
fun. It's pretty
No,
hard. There's a reason that people say don't do it,
because the
and they're
whole
not
thing is
doing
like
it to be
you're
dicks.
practically saying if you can't make this one, come to this one, which
Yeah.
then drives people away from one, and it can just have that
Yep.
knock-on effect.
Or
I had
or they get used to it and they go, well, I could just go to that, or I could just go to that, and they end up going to neither.
some friends of mine, some friends of mine did that last year, and I was guilty of the same thing because they were playing like 3 or 4 shows a week for about a month straight,
Wow,
and because it was such a
that's a
hectic,
lot.
yeah, all in Brighton, and it was like it was
Man.
because during that period, that term of well, that semester, we were doing an events module,
Hmm.
um and yeah, we were doing this events module, and it got to a point so that everyone in our year was trying to put on gigs, basically. So that's how my thing came to be,
Yeah,
really. I'd been thinking about doing my own thing for a while, but then when the events module came along, I was like, there's no better time to at least like kick it off
just
than
give
this.
it a go for
Just
sure.
give it a try,
For
yeah.
sure. Yeah,
And we're still going from that, which is really good. But
that's
yeah,
amazing.
these guys, loads of people were asking them to play their gigs, so they were playing 2, 3, maybe 4 a week for a month straight. when it
That's
would
so many gigs. I mean,
big.
fair play. I bet they had so much fun in the time of their lives.
Yeah, they're incredible band, really tight.
Yeah, and I bet they're so tight now. They've played that much together.
Yeah, like honestly, I need to see them again. I saw them a couple of months ago since this, and I was just like, oh my god, like you guys have like that's free practice. Those
literally,
gigs. But like
literally,
like that's really tight. But yeah, I was guilty of it. Like I went to like one show of that whole thing, and I kept saying like, I'll come and catch you, I'll come and catch you. But because it was such a hectic period of time, like I was doing my thing, but I was also kind of involved in a lot of other things. I was also going to a lot of other people's events.
right?
Just because it's like it's my mates, it's people in our year, it's the other bands, and I like them, and I want to go and support people because they've done the same for me. And yeah, I kept saying to these guys like, I will make one of your shows. And every time it would come up, like on the night, I'd just be like, oh.
Yeah, and then
like,
I can see him at the next one.
Yeah, because I was just so tired from everything else. I was just like, oh, like, I'll go tomorrow, or I'll go next week, and then rinse and repeat every time.
And then you don't go at all.
I did catch them once or twice, but I felt really bad when I was missing the other ones. But at the same time, it was like there was so much going on.
Yeah,
and that like they understood. It's like, but I still felt bad. Yeah, but that's why I won't do so many gigs, because like people keep offering me them, but I again, I feel bad for turning them down, but it's not gonna do me or them any good for that matter. Like some friends of mine who are doing promotions in Brighton, like they want me to do shows with them, and I did an acoustic one with them a little while back, because like acoustic shows are more exclusive, because I hadn't done like a proper acoustic show in a while. I was like, yeah, let's do it, because like this is something different to the full band thing. But like, yeah, I always feel bad when I have to turn down doing full band shows with them, because I'm probably like, especially now we've got this gig coming up in July, and because it's not student season, I'm not sure what the sales are like, but like there might not be enough. No, there might not be as many people around. There might not be. But if I were to do do another gig in Brighton with the full band, it risks either taking ticket sales away from that or from the gig itself. This other gig, and it's like it's not going to benefit the promoter. It's not going to benefit me or the band. And I feel bad for taking it, because I love gigging, but it's you
have to be a bit responsible with it sometimes. For sure, you do.
Having to say no to
it's been awesome having you on, man. Like, you're such a
mate, thank you so much.
Good, energetic person to speak to. I love your attitude. I love what you're doing. You're going about it in the right way.
I'm telling you.
Honestly, if you are ever doubting yourself if you're doing the right thing, you are. Like, genuinely. It's been awesome. Before we go, do you have anything to plug? Do you want to promote, like, finding you on socials, anywhere we can listen to you, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm on all platforms, Matt Hennessy. So I've got 3 songs out: Dumb Luck, Twist the Knife, and Hooked. For the time being, we probably won't have much else out, but keep an eye out for demos and stuff. I'll be pushing that sort of stuff on my TikTok and Instagram. So I've got Matt.
Join his broadcast channel. Join his broadcast channel.
Join my broadcast channel. I can promise you, my guitarist will be a menace.
I will link everything in there, so you can go to the description and click on it and find it. I've not joined. I'm gonna go join your broadcast channel in a minute. Actually, I think that'll be quite fun. But dude, it's been awesome.
Jack and say, when you join, I'll message him and be like, yeah, just post loads of things.
Please. Please.
Tell you what, if you're ever at one of our shows, I'll introduce you to him. You two would get on very well.
Mega. I will make sure I will definitely come and see you guys at some point.
Honestly,
without a doubt.
Are you still based up in Leicester?
Yeah.
Because my sister goes to uni there. She's currently on a year out, but I've been like trying. I've been hoping one day if I get a gig up there. So it's like if I end up getting a gig that way, maybe might see you there.
If you ever want any contacts for up that way, let me know. And for anyone that's
good, thank you.
For anyone listening to this, just I'll probably shoot myself in the foot by saying this. Let me know.
Portsmouth, Southampton, Brighton based, but
I've got some friends over in Portsmouth. When I was meant to go to Golden Touch, when I didn't because of my fall down the stairs, I was meant to be seeing some friends down there. So when you got some gigs down there, let me know, because I do want to go, and I'll come watch you, and I'll bring.
That'd be great.
As well.
Honestly, we'll have. hoping to have another Portsmouth one later this year.
Sweet.
Same with Southampton. We've applied for a couple of Southampton ones. But yeah, we haven't heard back because again, this is like September, October, November, December.
Yeah, it takes
so it'll
some
be a
time.
little while before we hear back about
sure.
those, especially with all of these promoters being busy with festival season. But yeah, I'll keep you updated.
Nice. Well, look, everyone, go check him out. Matt Hennessy everywhere. I'll tag him. I'll tag all his shit in the description. Make sure you go check him out. Join his broadcast channel because it sounds like there's some really funny shit there. I'm going to be joining there. And thank you so much for watching, listening, however you're consuming this. I really appreciate it. It's sick that I get to do this every day. I fucking love it. So thank you very much. And thank you, Matt, for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.